Alright, so we're just going to do another update on this job we got at Hope Island. There's been a huge amount of delays down here. Basically everything, being a large renovation, basically everything that could possibly be wrong with this house is wrong. So we're just going to give you a run through of some of the issues we've had and the delays involved. So if you're looking at doing a renovation yourself or thinking about this type of job, then gives you a bit of an insight into what happens and some of the delays and extra costs that can be involved. So in the other video we showed you all the termite damage to the garage area, so our boys have been through, we've replaced everything that was eaten and no good. We've replaced it all with termite treated timber, and we've put a lot of termite proofing in around the perimeter of the job now, reticulation system and cordon, so shouldn't have the same issue. Alright, we'll do a quick walkthrough. This is a board we have in all of our jobs, just so supervisors can make notes and let people know what's happening. So I'll come through here. Originally we weren't going to replace any of the entry, but the owners now decided to get rid of all the old entry doors and replace them, so that's a variation. So this powder room and bathroom area, there's been a few changes to this area. The owners decided to combine the two rooms and make it one large room. So she's got an interior designer person involved now. They're helping out with all the joinery designs and the selections. So continue through here. So as you can see, the back of the house has now been all opened up. We're starting to dig the pool today. So the pool will be under construction for the next week or two. So if you come out the back here, there's been a lot of issues on this job. The job's roughly sort of 7 to 8 weeks behind schedule. Basically everything that could have been wrong with this house has been wrong. The renovation plans and the engineering was all designed off the original plans. Being a bulk type project home, the original house wasn't constructed as per the plans. So now that we've started doing work on site, we've had to get all the engineering redone because it actually doesn't suit what has been constructed here. A good example of that is the slab. The slab actually isn't connected to the footing. So they've laid their footing, they've put it up on this block base, but they haven't actually put any reo or tied the slab to the footing in any way. So we've had to get a whole new design for around the back of the house here so that we can tie it all back together. Alright, so just want to give you a little bit of an insight into obviously doing a renovation of this size and some of the issues that come up. So obviously part of the videos you've seen is we've come up against a lot of problems on this project. Look, on a renovation this size, it's not uncommon for unforeseen things, and 9 times out of 10 they're always latent conditions which are in the ground, which is definitely the case on this project. We've had issues with stormwater when we were supposed to just do some minor modification work to it to put new downpipes to suit the extension areas. In doing that, we obviously found that the pipes were completely blocked with roots, so we've had to remove all the trees, we've had to completely redo all the stormwater around the entire house. And then we had the piering issue, so all those types of problems have delayed this job by, at this stage, it's pushing 8 weeks. So obviously we've had to constantly redo our schedules. At this point in the job, the schedule's pretty much out the window. We're waiting on some confirmations on items and some redesigning on engineering before we can reschedule the job. In the meantime, we are trying to do as much as we possibly can, but the issue with those types of long delays is it then starts to affect other parts of the job. So there's other parts of the job here, for example plastering that was meant to be left, that we have no allowance for to do any work on those areas. Because we're that far behind schedule, at this point in the job the roof would have been on. Because of all those delays, the roof's obviously now delayed as well. We've had a lot of rain in Brisbane over the last 2 weeks, which is now affecting, like I said, other areas of the job, the plastering, the internal stairs. So we're doing our best to protect those areas, but it's just an example of how one thing leads to another, and on renovations of this scale, it's very, very difficult for the builders to like foresee all these circumstances. So obviously if we hadn't had those delays, the job would be powering on. We'd have the roof on now, we'd be starting to do the new cladding on the outside, but like one thing leads to another, and before you know it, there's all these other little areas that are causing problems. So just something to think about when you're doing a renovation of this scale. Like, you definitely need to have a bit of contingency and I guess money up your sleeve, because there's definitely issues that do arise.